What's up, everybody? Here with episode 5 of Coronavirus Sports Boredom. We got a special edition for you today. We're going to be talking the NBA draft, which is upcoming. This is Ethan with you, here with my man JD. And let's break it down. We're doing a consensus of the entire first round of the NBA draft. So the first pick with the Golden State Warriors. What are your thoughts on that pick?
Right now, I think I got James Wiseman from the center for Memphis going number one to the Warriors. I think they need a big man. I like him going number one.
Exactly. I totally agree with that because, Anthony Edwards, arguably the best player in the draft, but it's not like there's a Zion. There's not a far and away best this year. So for them to fill that positional need, and it's always a gamble when you got a guy who has not even really played much college ball, but because of the unfortunate situation with Memphis last year, but I still think this guy's super talented. It might take him a season, or so to figure it out, but I still think he fits that team really well. I totally agree with that. What about Cleveland with the 2 pick?
Cleveland number two. I think we're going to go with the shooting guard, Anthony Edwards from Georgia. How about you?
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. I like Anthony Edwards. I do think he's the best player in the draft. And, Cleveland, a team with they're pretty set in terms of both big men and guards. They just still have to put the whole puzzle together. So I like Anthony Edwards going number 2 to the Cleveland Cavs.
Yeah, and at number three, we got the Timberwolves. This is an interesting pick. Could go really anywhere. Who do you got here?
Number 3 pick, and it's obviously a bit of a gamble, but I'm going to take LaMelo Ball third.
Okay.
I think that they've got Cat. They're in pretty decent shape in terms of big guys, but they lack depth everywhere. They lack depth at the guard position as well. But I think they need a little more help with guards, and I think that LaMelo's simply the best available player at this point. So I think he's probably going to go to the T-Wolves at number 3.
I could see LaMelo going at number three, but I also think you gotta look at two other guys. One of them being Obi Toppin. I mean, he's a good player from Dayton. Who knows what Dayton would have done in March Madness this year? And also, Denny Advijid. I don't know how to pronounce his name, to be honest with you. I mean, there's guys like that, or even Oniki Ognikawa, power forward from USC. These names are hard to pronounce, man. But I mean, I'll agree with you. I think Timberwolves, yeah, sure, LaMelo Ball number three. I like that.
Yeah. I like Denny a lot. I think if he gets a better shot, he can be a really solid player. As for Onika Okongwu, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I just don't know if he has the size to play a traditional center position. And for me, it's just a little too early for Obi Toppin, so I got to go with LaMelo. And if we say T-Wolves take LaMelo, that brings up the Atlanta Hawks with number 4. Who you got there?
Well, if LaMelo's still available, I think the Hawks are going to take LaMelo, obviously. But number 4, the Hawks. Most people have LaMelo going to the Hawks at number 4. I think the Hawks, they got Trae Young already. They could use another small forward, maybe Cam Reddish is a shooting guard, small forward sort of thing. They still got John Collins there. They got a different number of guys. But I think
And
they're going
Clint
to
Capella
draft.
now. You got to remember that.
Say that again.
And Clint Capella now. So they're
Oh,
pretty
they
much
did
set
get
in
Clint
terms of
Capella. You're
big
right.
men.
So that's why they don't. Yeah, they're pretty depth there. But I think that's where they're going to draft Obi Toppin at number 4.
Number 4? Yeah, I mean, that's it's gutsy, but I do think Obi comes as one of the most complete and safe players in the draft. Some rankings are going to have guys like Okongwu and Denny ahead of him, but at the same time, we've seen what Obi Toppin can do, and even though it has been in a limited amount of time, he's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got all the tools. He comes as a ready-made proposition for that team, so I could definitely see him. We'll go with him going to the Hawks number 4, and then moving on, number 5 pick. Right now, we'd have it going to Detroit, and that team's a mess right now. What do you got going to them?
Well, I mean, they traded away Andre Drummond. They still got Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose there. I think they need to bring in a center. And this guy from USC, Onika Okonwu. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name, to be honest with you, but I'd have him going there maybe. What do you think?
I could see them going a big guy, but they also, I mean, they have bigger dudes. I could also see Isaac Okoro out of Auburn. That's pretty far for him to go down, and they could always use more help at the small forward position. So I could really see either of those two guys. What do you
Or
think?
even maybe Denny.
Denny, yeah, Denny would be good. He's a really skilled dude,
That's a pretty
and
solid pick,
people.
actually. Yeah, number 5, Denny's not bad for the Pistons.
I like that. I like that. Maybe we should go with that because
Yeah, I
and
like
I think
Denny
all
at
the guys
5.
who come from overseas a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
Uh, and he's not there with the 3-point shooting and that kind of stuff, but he has potential to get there. And for the international guys always sleeper picks in a way. I think he would
Mhm.
be a really solid pick for the Pistons at number 5.
Yeah, so Denny at number 5. Number 6, we got the New York Knicks coming in. Who do you got going at number 6?
Well, the New York Knicks are pretty much in a bad way right now. I think at all positions they have essentially one player in Julius Randle, and that's about it. I think
And
that maybe
RJ can still develop.
RJ can definitely develop, but he's not there yet. He
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get there. But to me, I feel like this is a team that needs to go with just the best available player, and that's why I would have them take an Isaac Okoro. I think it would be too far down for him to go. I think this would be a good pick for the Knicks.
I think Isaac goes later. I'm thinking, I don't know. They don't really need a guard, but they kind of do. I'm thinking either Cole Anthony, Killian Hayes, Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State, some guy like that, or even RJ Hampton, which is also a stretch. But
So you think you're talking them getting a guard? Because
yeah,
I mean, I think that team is in such a bad way. I think they could go anywhere for help right now.
yeah, I agree there. Who do you, so you have Isaac Okoro,
hmm I think he's just the best available at that point, and I
but
think he's kind of what they need.
by the Knicks' nature, they're gonna go with I think Cole Anthony. I'm just talking, man. They go with
are we
guys that
projecting?
they
Are
go
we
with they go
projecting
with
what
big
should
things.
happen or what is going to happen?
What should happen is different. Cole Anthony's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I love Cole Anthony, but the Knicks, I
Yep.
think they're
I
gonna
think
draft a star
it's
power.
just way too early to take him. I don't think he's not in my top 10 personally. I think he's good, but he's not that high up.
All right, so Isaac Okoro going number 6 to the Knicks.
Sure, we'll go with that.
All
And
right,
then number 7
set
pick,
the Chicago
we got
Bulls.
our Chicago Bulls, another team that is really in a bad way right now. But
Yeah, they can go anywhere basically. Yeah.
oh man, if we're talking the Bulls, we have some shooters for sure. We got Wendell as a pretty talented big guy, but we could still use more help at the center position. Maybe
hmm
Kongwu goes here.
I think it's gonna be a mix of either Daniel or Turo from Minnesota, someone like that. What do you think?
You're saying for the Bulls
Yeah,
with number 7?
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a bit early for him.
It does seem a little bit early, but again, just like the Knicks, the Bulls could literally draft anywhere, anyone.
That's true, but at the same time, I just think that would be a stupid pick. That said, we've seen that before from the Chicago Bulls.
It's the Bulls we're talking about again.
But again, we're trying to do what they actually should do right now. What they will do.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, I don't know.
Who do you think you got there?
Yeah, I would say I would take a Kongwu here. I think he's just too good of a player to go too much deeper, and the Bulls could use a little more help at that big man
Yeah, I
position.
see that. I
Well,
can see it.
Kongwu doesn't have a ton of size, but I think he's going to be a dude who has opportunity to develop, maybe kind of play a second string role to Wendell in his first couple of seasons, and see where he can go. That's my opinion.
All right, I like that. Then the Bulls take a Kanu. Then I think the Hornets are gonna draft the guy I just said from Minnesota, Oturo or Tuber or whatever his name is,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
because they need a big.
yeah. I mean, I could see that. It might be a little early for him, but that is a team that definitely, if they're set at any position, I guess it's the guard position. They have talented guards. They have
Yeah,
Rozier. They have Malik Monk still developing. They have Devontae Graham. They're not really set at any position because they're straight up bad.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm only repping this jersey because I got it for like $35. So they're not there right now. But they definitely need help at the big man spot. So a Turu there, that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Number 9, you got the rebuilding Wizards waiting for John Wall to come back. Who do you got there?
Yeah, the Wizards are somewhat of a mystifying team because they have a lot of good players. They have obviously Bradley Beal, who's a real shot creator, great passer, great court vision, just one of the best overall players in the league. Uh, and then we got John Wall, of course, who's a good playmaker. Uh, you got Thomas Bryant, who I like a lot, still developing young guy. Davis Bertans, but they've still been unable to put all the pieces together. So I don't know. I really don't know where this team goes positionally. What are your thoughts on position?
I think they go with guard. I think they
As
need
in
a
kind
guard
of
or a forward.
take a guy to go second string. I mean, they are kind of set at the big position with they have some talented bigs. Obviously, Thomas Bryant, a young guy who hopefully will be durable for them, even though he struggled this year with the foot injury. So, you know, given that is if Tyrese Halliburton's still on the board, I would definitely consider
Yeah,
him
that's
or
it.
Tyrese Maxey out of Kentucky.
I think Tyrese from Iowa State.
Yeah,
That's what I think the
and
Wizards
get
go with.
I think he'd have a good opportunity, kind of backing up John Wall, and potentially, we've seen load management become a big thing in the NBA. If John Wall is going to have to take some games off, given the injury concerns, I think Tyrese would be a guy who's very capable of running the offense alongside Bradley Beal and playing that position. So
Yeah.
I definitely think that would be a good fit for them.
Number 10, you got Phoenix. I think they also need a guard. I got Cole Anthony here. How about you?
I like that pick because that's another struggling team. I feel like they're pretty much the Devin Booker show with
Yeah.
with
Aiton.
DeAndre Ayton on the
Yeah.
side. They're not a deep enough team right now. I know Kelly Oubre is having a great season, but they're definitely a team that still needs guards. And
Yeah.
so Cole Anthony going
Definitely.
here, them taking a bit of a gamble on a maybe slightly lower rated guy. I mean, obviously, part of the reason his draft stock was a lot higher, and then it fell a little bit due to the struggles of North Carolina, and I think that's somewhat unfair. I still think Cole Anthony is an excellent player.
Yeah.
So him going here to Phoenix, I like that idea.
Yep. And then number 11, you got the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I know they've got DeJounte Murray. I think they're good they're decent in terms of their guards, but I think that would be the place they could make perhaps the biggest improvement, or they could go with a big man, a center, a true
I
center
like
to
I
play
like the
alongside.
guard. I like the guard.
Yeah, to me, this is where I would take Tyrese Maxey out of Kentucky. I think he's fallen too far, and he's a really talented guard. That or Killian Hayes, couple of talented guards, but I would tend more positionally. I'd tend a little bit more toward Hayes, but personally, I think Maxey's a better player. I think you're better off
Yeah,
with a
I
point
think
guard than a
Maxey.
shooting guard. But I don't know. It could go either way for sure.
I think Maxey definitely goes San Antonio. I think.
Yep. Yeah, sounds good to me. And then
Number
we move
12.
on to the 12th pick with the Sacramento Kings. Who do you got going there?
I think they also need a guard. I think it's gonna be a guard plentiful draft here. I got either from France Hayes, or maybe an early pick from Florida State, the small shooting guard slash small forward Devin Vassell.
Yeah. I think it's too early for Vassell. And again, we talk about the guys from overseas being so underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Killian Hayes, and if he goes this far, I think he's definitely the right pick for the Sacramento Kings. Like you said, a lot of guard talent. At this point in the draft, there's not going to be too much positional decisions. It's just about getting the best player, and I think that Hayes definitely provides that for the Kings.
Yeah. 13, you got a team that could use guards and bigs, I guess. The Pelicans, still got Zion, but who do you think they go with here?
Yeah. The Pelicans just they're a solid team. They have a great future, and if they can get another solid pick, that could really take them to the next level. For me, I mean, this is hard, but I'd be tempted to go with R.J. Hampton here, um, or maybe Precious Achua out of Memphis. Though I think that obviously he's benefited from the absence of James Wiseman a little bit. I would go with Hampton here, but I'm not sure about this one. This is a tough pick.
I could actually see him going with another Duke player,
Who you got?
Vernon Carey.
For real? For real,
I
man.
think Vernon Carey's underrated. I could see Carey, or I could see I could see a number of guys. Carey or Hampton, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a little too early for Vernon Carey. I would get Hampton off the board at this point.
All right, Hampton's off the board then. That sounds good. Number 14,
And
we have the Portland Trail Blazers.
yeah, and this is another team that is this is a team that's hurting right now. Even though they're playing decent, I feel like they've become really reliant on Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum a little bit. As good, and don't get me wrong, Hassan Whiteside's having a great season. I know Nurkic is out, but that's a team that has had a very, very apparent lack of big man talent for a while. And so I would either take Precious Achiuwa out of Memphis or maybe take Vernon Carey here.
I think they need a small forward. I got either McDaniels or Bay going here.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey, I feel like is a guy who's underrated on a lot of draft boards. I think he's such a dynamic scorer. He just plays the game. To me, he's a guy who has an NBA game at this point.
Yeah,
And for Portland, to have a dude who has that fadeaway shot, who would kind of be like the young version of Carmelo Anthony, a dude who would just do some instant scoring for that team, guy who competes hard on both ends. I like that pick a lot. I definitely think maybe go with Sadiq Bey here.
I like Bay too. 15, the Magic. I think they would either go with maybe Jaden McDaniels or Josh Green, a mix of that, or me. I mean, they could go a lot of places. Maybe even a Vernon Carey. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah, the Magic. I mean, they're a solid all around team, but they're not. I think they're another team that could go with the best overall fit. Yeah, this is one I'm really not sure about. Josh Green is not a bad pick at this point. Due to a shooting guard type fit, but I really don't know here. Whatever you want to go with, I'm really not sure.
I think I like Josh Green. Sure, that works for me. Shooting guard from Arizona. I like
Yeah,
that.
we'll go with that.
16, we have the
And
Timberwolves.
then, yeah, Timberwolves with the second pick here in the first round.
Yeah, they get it from the Nets.
And I don't know. I mean, who we take with the first Timberwolves pick again?
Let me skip back here. The Timberwolves, I believe, we had taken LaMelo Ball.
So you're already kind of filling a guard need here.
Yeah.
And talking, obviously his name's come up a couple times. He slid pretty far, but Achua, is that? I'm sorry, but out of Memphis, I think could kind of fill in that forward need. Get a guy to play with Cat, a big dude, and so you get a guard and a forward for a team that kind of needs.
I like that.
Complete overhaul aside of Cat, obviously. I think that could be a good fit for them.
I like that pick. I like that.
Yeah, I just think he's gone too far down.
17, we have the Celtics getting the 17th pick from the Grizzlies. I think the Celtics need to go with they got the forwards, obviously. I think they probably need to go with more of a guard.
Yeah, they've got. Yeah, this is a good team. So it's like they don't have a.
Yeah. They got Carson Edwards last year.
They don't have a glaring need,
Yeah.
But they have a lot of depth at the point guard position. You obviously have Kemba, and then you have
Carson Edwards still even.
You have even Carson Edwards. You have Romeo Langford. You have Marcus Smart. They have a lot of good players. But if we're to go with a guard, I'd be more inclined to go with the shooting guard, and I know his name's come up once or twice. What about Devin Vassell out of Florida State?
I like Vassell from Florida State. I like that pick. I like that. I think he's fallen a little bit too far even. Yeah.
Could be a good positional fit for them and kind of the next guy the next young star to see what he can do with that team and chip in alongside Romeo and all those young guys. I think that could really work for them.
18th, we have the Milwaukee Bucks getting the pick from the Indiana Pacers. I think they go with a point guard here. Who do you got?
How do the Bucks still have draft picks? They have an amazing team, and yet they still have good draft picks. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
for
just
real.
one of the best run franchises, if not the best run franchise in the NBA right now. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. I think I got a guy from overseas, I think, going here. Theo Miladin.
Yep.
I think he goes to the Bucks here at 19.
Yeah, because having lost Malcolm Brogdon, that team's a little shallower at the point guard position. Obviously, Eric Bledsoe's still really doing well out there. But I think the idea of kind of a backup point guard, a guy who would be a rotation player for them at that position, and probably another underrated guy in Malden. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah. 19th, we got the Brooklyn Nets here. Getting the pick from the 76ers, I believe. Who do you got the Nets taking here?
Well, we talked about it being a guard-heavy draft, but this is a team that, certainly at the point guard spot, they don't need people.
Yeah.
You got Kyrie, obviously, but they had all they could handle at the point guard already with the great production of Spencer Dinwiddie. I'd be a little more inclined to go with a bigger guy on that team, considering especially even their two superstars. Kevin Durant is 6'11" or whatever, but he still plays like a little dude. He's just an all-around stud. It's a tough pick here, but I would probably go with one of the few talented big men still on the board, and that's Jaden McDaniels out of Washington.
Yeah. He's more plays like a small forward too, which is good for them. I like that pick though, Jaden McDaniels. I like that.
Because they have talent in terms of the center position. They have DeAndre Jordan and they have Jared Allen. But to get a solid power forward who would get rotation minutes, I think that could be a good fit for them.
Yeah, next we got at 20, we got the Philadelphia 76ers.
I mean, I don't know. I think Nico Mannion is still on the board right now, correct? And he's a dude who's just gone afar. He's just gone a long way down. So kind of the idea of taking a point guard who can actually shoot might be able to benefit the Sixers and get him some possible minutes in the rotation. That's a team that definitely has some young talent, but I like that pick for them. He's just gone too far.
Too for them. After the Sixers, we got 21. We have the Dallas Mavericks coming in. Who do you got for the Mavericks going here?
Yeah, I think personally, I feel like this is a team that's fine at the guard spot. They kind of need a second big guy.
Yeah.
And did we talk about they don't really have much of a backup center. Willie Cauley-Stein's not playing much. Is Vernon Carey still on the board right now?
He's still on the board, yeah.
I think that would be a great fit for the Mavs, actually.
I could see Vernon Carey going. I had him maybe falling a little ways more down, but Vernon Carey, the Mavericks, sounds great to me.
I just think they need a second big guy who can take some of the load off Porzingis and really get some good minutes, productive touches down low.
I definitely
feel good about that pick. He's underrated, but I think he could really pay off for
that. 22, we got the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies, man. This is a good young team.
Yeah.
This is a good young team, and they don't really need help at. They don't have a glaring hole at any position to me. So I go with one of the best available players. I would think about taking Nesmith or Jameis Ramsey out of Vandy and Texas Tech, respectively. Who do you got going there?
For the Nuggets.
For the Grizzlies first, who were you thinking?
Oh, for the Grizzlies, sorry. For the Grizzlies, let's see here. I got Jordan Norwell.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think it's a bit early for him personally, but he's a talented dude.
And I missed who you said. Who'd you say before that?
I was talking some of the better available guys. I was saying Aaron Nesmith out of Vanderbilt or maybe Jameis Ramsey out of Texas Tech.
I like Vanderbilt. Definitely Vanderbilt. I like
Yeah,
that pick.
Nesmith providing a small forward. I mean, they kind of have Dylan Brooks there, but I feel like we can find 8 minutes for him, and he could be a good player for them.
Yeah. And then I jumped ahead of myself. Sorry, I had the Denver
Anyways,
Nuggets at 23rd. Um,
yep,
I think
yep,
they
we
need.
got.
I think they need either. I think they probably need a big or maybe a guard. Who do you got going here?
Well, again, there's not that many good bigs, especially with Sadiq Bey already off the board. Uh, I would consider. I think he's still on the board. I consider taking Zeke Naji out of Arizona. I think he would be a good fit for them at that big position. But Denver's one of those teams that doesn't have a ton of star power, so they could improve at a lot of positions. They're just they play like a team. They're a good all around team. I would definitely consider taking Zeke Naji though.
They could. I like that. I was either having him or a point guard from Alabama, Kara Lewis Jr. Well, I like Najee to go in there. 24th, the Miami Heat. Who do you got them taking?
Yeah, I mean they're a good team right now. They're kind of clicking on all cylinders. They've got the great play of Bam Adebayo right now.
Hmm.
Kind of a coming out party for him this season. They've obviously got Jimmy Butler doing his thing. To me, I would go with just one of the better available players they have. I would take Jahemius Ramsey here. I just feel like he's gone too far. Ramsey out of Texas Tech. What do you think?
I got Isaiah Stewart from Washington.
Yeah, I could see that. I think either way, uh, they're Miami's an interesting team because they have fits everywhere. Kind of, they don't really have any
Yeah.
glaring weaknesses, but at the same time, they definitely have room for improvement. They're one of those teams that has looked elite at times, but they have another level that they can kind of kick into here.
So who do
So
we got? Who do we got
you
here?
want to go with Stewart? I'm cool with that.
All right.
Uh,
25th, the New York Knicks again. Um, earlier, we had them going with the guard, I think. Who do we have?
Yeah, but the Knicks are a team that just needs help right now. They
Everyone.
just need good players.
So I think they go with the best available. Who do you got here?
In my opinion, the best available player, again, I would go with Jahemius Ramsey
I
as
like that.
a point guard, a guy who is pretty talented out of Texas Tech, would have an opportunity to kind of outplay and take the spot from Alfred Payton right now because Payton's good, but he's not that good. It's definitely doable for him to win that job, and he definitely with that team. The great thing about going to the Knicks is maybe you suck, you won't be getting any rings anytime soon, but you're going to get minutes, and I think
Yeah,
that could be a good fit
I
for
like
him,
that.
help him develop a little more.
Then to round out the last five picks, we got the Celtics, Thunder, Raptors, Lakers, Celtics. Who do you got? Celtics first pick in the last five picks of the first round.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a dude who uh, I feel like he's pretty underrated. Guy who comes from overseas. I'm gonna go with the Argentine, Leandro Bomaro, shooting guard.
All right, I like that. I like that. That works. Then moving on to next, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. I got a it's kind of surprising pick. I got them getting a forward. Shoot, I just X'd out of this. Sorry. I got the Knicks getting Jalen Smith from Maryland.
Wait, we got OKC up with the
Okay,
27th
see,
pick still, right?
sorry, I had the Knicks next to him. That's my bad. They were on the list. I got Jalen
Yep,
Smith.
all
My
good.
bad.
Who you got?
Jalen Smith from Maryland.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think that's solid. That's a team that has a lot of talented guards right now. Uh, I could see him going with possibly Tyler Bay out of Colorado or even Udoka Azubuike here out of Kansas.
Yeah, from Kansas. That's what I had him going to the Raptors, as a lot of people do.
Yeah, that would be a good fit
The
for
next
them.
pick. So I got as a bouquet going to the Raptors at 28th. You
Yeah, I
like
like
that?
that
All
because
right.
Udoka's an
29th.
underrated guy, right? And
Yeah.
he actually spent 4 years at college. And I know some people, for some reason, think that sets him back. I think he took time to develop and really become a solid player. So I really like taking Udoka as a Buki here out of Kansas. I know a lot of draft boards have him falling second round or even possibly further, but to me, he's a first round pick. He's got first round talent, and
Yep.
at the very least, he can be a really solid glass cleaner for that team.
I also think
Uh,
next, I think the guy that should be in the first round is Tyus Jones' little brother Trey Jones. I think he goes to the Lakers at 29th.
yep, I like that pick. Lakers are a team that just, I mean, again, they don't have glaring positional holes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a team that's kind of clicking on all cylinders. So you're
Yeah,
saying Tyus goes there?
yeah, Tyus. No,
I
not
like
Tyus' little brother Trey.
You think Trey goes there?
Trey Jones.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Gives them, and they're a team. They obviously got Rondo, right? But
yeah.
they're a team that
He's older. Yeah.
still needs help at that position, and I think he'd be able. That would give Trey an opportunity to get rotation minutes, and he's an underrated player. When Zion and everybody and RJ and Cam were there, he was getting all kinds of hype, and now this year it's like everybody's just forgot about him. He's still a great player, and he still deserves to go in the first round.
Then our last
And
pick.
then, yep,
First
rounding
round.
first round out with Boston again. Who do you got there?
I had Ramsey, but he's already gone for Texas Tech, or Vass. I think they definitely need a shooting guard here. I got either a combination of Jay Scrub, Patrick Williams, maybe possibly a dude from Barcelona, Leandro Balomero, and something like that. Maybe Joel Yee from Gonzaga, Cassius Stanley. Maybe I'd like Cassius Stanley from Duke. Somewhere around those three
Cassius,
guys.
yeah, I think that's a good pick. Uh, I like Scrub. I think taking the JUCO route, it's an interesting route for him to go, but I think his talent has really shown through that process.
Yeah,
And
I
like
works
you
for me.
said,
I like Jay
shooting
Scrub.
guard is a good position for them. I like going with Jay Scrub to round out the first round there.
Yep,
He is
I
not a
like that.
scrub. He's good.
And also, since we just finished the first round, I wanted to remind everyone that we still got a lot of good players on board. I mean, that could be good players in the league. Like Cassius Stanley. You got different guys. Cassius Winston from Michigan
Yeah, what
State. He's
about
a good point
Cassius
guard.
Winston, man? He's a great player going to the second round. You got Devon Dotson coming out of Kansas.
Yeah, you got a bunch of guys like that. You even have what's his name? Nick Richards from Kentucky. I think he's an underrated center who's could be
Yep.
decent. You got different guys like that that could
Yeah,
make a
what
big
about
impact.
Marcus Howard out of Marquette?
Oh yeah, I mean, see, there's guys like that. I mean, even
Yeah,
Lamar Stevens from Penn State. Lamar Stevens is a great player.
yep. And that's the tough thing about this, man. There's so many guys who even perform really well in college, and
Yeah.
it's so tough for NBA teams. They're trying to find who's going to work out at the next level, and I don't know, man. It's a tough process. This mock draft, it was not easy, but it sure was a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And once the draft comes closer, we'll probably do another one of these. With the actual picks verified. This is projecting the standings and
Yep.
everything. But I mean,
Yep.
it's never too early to do NBA because the draft's coming up soon. So see what happens.
For sure. Yeah, good stuff. And that
Yeah,
should
man.
just about do it for us today for episode 5, the mock draft 1.0 for the CSB show. This is Ethan. And for JD, stay safe. See you
Adios,
later. Have
everyone.
a good one.